Hello and welcome to the Getting Things screencast. This is episode 5, Taking Things With You. Now that we've used things together and organized our tasks, we have to ask the question, what about when we're away from the computer? That's when the iPhone or iPod Touch version of things comes in really handy. If you don't have an iPhone or iPod Touch, you can use the very handy print feature and manage your tasks the old-fashioned way with pen and paper. You can get Things Touch in the App Store for $9.99 in the US. You can go purchase it and the installation will happen automatically. I'd like to show you a little bit about Things Touch here. You'll see it's very familiar in its interface. The parallels are uncanny. Once you've got these two versions of things, you'll need a way to keep them synchronized. The first thing to do is make sure that you have a computer connected to your wireless network. If you don't have a wireless network, you can actually create one. I'll leave a link in the show notes, but you can go here to create network and actually create a computer-to-computer network, which will allow you to connect to your iPod, even if you don't have a wireless network at your home. Once you have both your iPod and Things connected to the same wireless network, we can get things syncing. Let's create an item on our desktop. And let's create an item in our mobile. We can just go to the main page and hit plus. You'll see this here and this here. Now, we can go to our preferences, click on the iPhone Sync preference pane, and open the assistant. You'll see all of the iPhones that are connected to this wireless network that also have Things open here. You can select it, and it will give you a 4-digit code that you need to enter on your iPhone. This is just for security purposes. Once you've done that, then you can synchronize them. You'll see that these two are synchronized. We have the mobile task and the desktop task, both of which were created. If you're having trouble getting your two things connected, I want you to check out one of the links that I have in the notes. It'll give you a whole list of troubleshooting ideas, but just to go down to a quick list, make sure that you're not running Little Snitch. Make sure that you've turned off the Leopard firewall. Make sure that you're running the latest version of Things for Mac and Things Touch. Make sure that you're running the latest version of Mac OS X Leopard. Make sure you're not currently connected to a VPN. Make sure that you've restarted your computer and your iPod Touch. Make sure you've tried to set up the computer-to-computer network like I talked about before. And make sure that you have Things running and open on your iPhone. If after doing all these things, your iPhone still doesn't show up in the assistant, go check out the forums at culturedcode.com/things/forums. Now, let's talk about using Things Touch. The two things you'll use the most on Things Touch is a way to remotely gather tasks and a way to look at your to-do list. Let's look at how those work. Let's say you're stopped at a stoplight and you realize that you need to call somebody. You can pull out your iPhone and say, you can even show details and tag it. If you want to create a due date, you can do that as well. Now it's in your inbox, ready to go. Want to go ahead and move it? Let's move it to the today. Now when we look at our today list, we'll see it there. Notice that it shows this little button for tags. That means it has a tag, and you can see it here. You can filter by tags in the lower right. It'll show you all the tags that are available. And it's filtered. You don't have to process it then, though. Let's create another task. And just save it. Now, let's synchronize. You can force a sync by going to File, and then Sync with iPhone Simulator Now. Notice that now you have this finished work that's in your inbox here and your inbox here. Let's process that now. Let's say this is a work task. Let's say we want to make the due date following Saturday or Sunday. Done. Now, if we force a sync, that data is here. You can also process this into Next. And you'll notice that every time you start up things, it also forces a sync. Let's see it next. Filter by work. There it is. So this is all well and good. What if you don't have an iPhone or an iPod Touch? Well, that's okay. Cultured Code didn't exclude everyone else from taking their tasks with them. The print feature in Things is very good for taking along your to-do list. When I've used this in the past, I've used the back for an inbox that I could then transfer into tasks when I got back to my desk. Plus, I could synchronize everything just by checking it off. Let me show you this. If you just go to File and Print, or hit Command-P, you see that there's 3 selections that you can make. You can either select the selected items or the entire list. You can select the size of the font, depending on what you want to read. And then you can actually select the size of the notes, if you have notes. Now, it's only going to show the things that matter and that you care about here. So let's process a few things so that you can see a little bit more of what the print feature can really do. Now let's go to Next. Let's go ahead and print. You'll notice that all of the items that are in Today have the star by them. Every item that has a tag, and any item that has a due date shows the due date. If it has a note, you have it here. You can limit the size, you can show the full note, or you can hide all the notes. It's also very useful to be able to do searches. You can do that and then print the searched list. If you have some items in other places, it'll divide up your items there as well. You can search by tags. And print as well. I hope this podcast has been helpful for you understanding how things can work when you're away from your computer. Things Touch is a very powerful and robust system, but you can also use printing if you don't have that as an option. Make sure to check in next week when we'll be discussing recurring tasks and projects. See you next time.